This is Mega Ran, and you're watching Fameaztv. Yo, what's going on? This is Random, aka Mega Ran, and we are reporting live for Fameaztv. And we're actually at the Phoenix Comicon, and it's really, really crazy right now. Great times. People are dressed up. It's all types of costumes going on in here.
You know, I'm drinking this out of nervousness. I don't even like coffee.
Get her done. Oh, get her done. Get her done.
Get her
Making it to red.
And now I don't understand him. Get her done. Get her done.
Get her done.
Chuck! This is a strange audience. How did the Fantastic Four become the Fantastic Four? They were slapped with cosmic rays. How did the Hulk become the Hulk? He was hit with a gamma ray. I wouldn't know a gamma ray if it hit me in the... I don't even know what those rays are. I read the names. Spider-Man, a radioactive spider. That's the extent of my scientific... Wait, I'll tell you one thing, though. Oh, wait a minute. I'll show you how much more scientific Marvel is than I am than DC. I'll give you a concrete example. We have two characters that fly. There are two characters that fly. Superman, Thor, right? Superman flies with no visible means of propulsion. He just assumes this pose, and he's in the air. Marvel and I, ultimately scientific. I gave Thor a hammer with a leather thong attached to his wrist. He swings that hammer so fast it's like a propeller. Then he lets it go. And naturally, the hammer goes flying off into space, but the thong is attached to his wrist, so it pulls Thor along. So, am I a technical wizard or am I not? Eat your heart out, DC.
That's pure genius. Thank you very much.
Thank you for recognizing the genius.
Why can't DC and Marvel be friends or just one big
My friend, we are friends. No, it's the funniest thing. I hear the voice, and I hear, could you say that, and that's what it sounds like. It's this damn microphone. If somebody talks to me, not with the mic, it's clear to me, but this does something in my ears that it muffles everything. Well, I heard that whole thing. I see if people are females, they have a higher pitched voice. Doesn't muffle it as much.
So what you're saying is that you can hear the females, but not the males. That's interesting, Stan.
We'll go into that after the joke.
That's a superpower.
That's right. You didn't think this was turning into a medical conclave. I I wouldn't stand anybody being like that if I was up here, I gotta tell you. Here's your coat.
You have to share.
That's what I mean, you're tolerant.
All right, I'm moving right along.
You're gonna drive me crazy. What is
It's a very good show. It's a show.
Have I been on it?
Kelly
I
Short.
haven't done any of it.
Not yet, no.
Well, I was trying to think, is there a show I was on? There isn't, and it's not nice of you to confuse a guy. My favorite Spider-Man cover is when he decided to stop being Spider-Man. And I think we called it, the name of it was Spider-Man No More. I don't even remember the story that well, but maybe that's my favorite story because of the cover. Now about Schwarzenegger. Somebody came to me and said that Arnold is kind of a fan, and now that he's not governor anymore, why don't we do an animated cartoon, and I know Arnold, and I'll introduce you, and you talk, and somehow it all came about. We were going to do a cartoon series called The Governator. Then this happened. And unfortunately, we're not going to do the cartoon anymore.
There's a Big Bang Theory asked you to come back for another episode. Would you want to team up with Will Wheaton to get back at Sheldon?
Only if it happens on my show first. That's what you guys do.
I always felt if I were a superhero, there's no way I would hang with a teenager. At the very least, people would talk. I have a new show you may have heard of called Stanley's Superhumans. I love that show as well. And that one looks like it's going to be a big hit. It's on the History Channel. They didn't think much of it, I think, in the first season. They didn't promote it. But then they realized it was getting great ratings. So now for the second season, which will start in the fall, they're going to do all kind of publicity and promotion, and I think it's going to be a hit show. So it'll take the place of Who Wants to Be a Superhero, maybe. Oh, you know the best thing about it? All those great directors and producers and special effects men and actors, they do all the work, and I get so much of the credit. It's a wonderful arrangement, but to answer your question, it feels great. It really does. Years ago, when we were doing these characters, never in a million years would we have thought that they'd ever be on the screen. I mean, we just hoped the books would sell and we'd keep our jobs. So it's been quite a ride for us. The first thing I would ever think of is what can I write? What can I come up with that people will be interested in? What kind of superpowers can I get that people would care about? And how do I make the characters the kind of characters that a reader can relate to? Once that's established, then you say to yourself, okay, what kind of stories am I going to tell? Where can I get a good villain, which is as important or more important than the heroes? You have the great villains. And then you start to write the story, and you say to yourself, well, gosh, here are these good guys, and nobody likes them, and they're really doing the best they can, but people hate them because they're different. And I thought to myself, that really reflects on society, where people hate other people because they have a different religion, or they're from a different nationality, or because a blonde hates a redhead, or who knows why, anybody who's different. And I thought that would be a good thing to play up in the series, but when I shouldn't say play up, to mention, to add in the series, but not hit anybody over the head with it. So I tried to make it a theme that any thinking person might be aware of it, without making it seem as though the stories are lectures, because nobody likes to be lectured to. In fact, I can see how bored you're all getting now because I'm talking on and lecturing, and I'll stop, I promise. You know, I really am not a guy who gets inspirations. Some people imagine sometimes writers walk in the street and suddenly, I've got an inspiration. You never get inspirations. Somebody says, we need a new story, so I go home and I sit and I scratch my head and I try to think of one. With the Hulk, we had already done Spider-Man, and I think we had done X-Men. I think the Hulk might have been third, I'm not sure. But we needed something else. And I said what everybody says, what can I do that's different? We already had a guy who could burst into flame and fly. We had a guy whose body stretched. We had the strongest guy around, you know, the usual. And I figured, I gotta get something different. So I remembered, I had always liked the Frankenstein movie with Boris Karloff. I always thought that the monster was really the good guy. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but those idiots with torches were always chasing him up and down the hills. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a monster who's a good guy? But then I figured, well, you can't just have a monster running around all the time. So then I remembered I had always loved Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And I thought, what if the monster turns into a regular human being? And back and forth. And the monster hates his other self. And the normal human being hates the monster and would like to cure himself of turning into the monster. So it was an inspiration. It was just scratching my head and thinking and kind of working it out. And that's how it happened. And I can't think of a funny punchline. I hate to confess this in front of all you people. And don't let it get any further, but I do not have a superpower. But if I did, the one that I would want is probably one you wouldn't expect. The superpower I would want is luck. Because if you're lucky, then you have everything. Whatever you do, it turns out fine because you're lucky. Nothing bad happens because you're lucky. So maybe I should come up, well, maybe that's an idea for a new, Mr. Lucky. Oh yeah, but he'll do it first because he's faster than I am. You'll see it on his show and it'll be a guest star and I'll have lost it. But anyway, that's the power I would really like. Luck.
Thank you very much.
See, I'm lucky today. You've got a big audience. I'm here with Jamie. The sun is shining. Everybody seems happy. I want to quit while I'm ahead.